Imagine spending, I don't know, $100,000 designing a beautiful state-of-the-art website. You spend months tweaking every color, agonizing over every button and headline, only to realize the only visitor who actually matters anymore is a machine.
Yeah, it's a terrifying reality for a lot of businesses right now.
It really is. Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we are exploring a massive paradigm shift in how you actually get found online. We've got some incredible insights today from an article by the team at our Greenfish. And the mission for this deep dive is to understand why the old rulebook is just completely fracturing.
Completely.
We are moving away from traditional search engine optimization, good old SEO, and diving headfirst into something called answer engine optimization, specifically AEO prompt tracking.
And it's important to establish right away that this isn't just a slight algorithm tweak or a new buzzword. We're talking about a fundamental rewiring of how consumers find information. Because if AI engines aren't picking up a brand to recommend in their natural conversations with users, well, businesses are losing high-intent buyers before they even know those buyers exist.
Okay, let's unpack this. Because for 20 years, the internet has essentially operated like a giant digital phone book. Traditional SEO is like fighting tooth and nail to get your business listed on the very first page of that phone book.
Right, and your entire strategy is just to sit back and hope the human eye stops on your name while they're flipping through.
Exactly. But AEO, answer engine optimization, is entirely different. The phone book is gone. AEO is making sure that when a customer asks the operator for advice, the operator specifically recommends your business out loud.
That analogy is spot on, because understanding that shift from a static directory to an active recommendation, it changes everything about how a company builds its digital presence.
So what does this actually look like in practice?
Well, AEO prompt tracking is the practice of monitoring if your brand, your content, or your URL actually appears in the text generated by AI platforms. We're talking about models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Perplexity.
Let's look at some real-world examples from the Our Greenfish piece, just to see how user behavior is changing on the ground. A user isn't just typing a fragmented keyword like CRM anymore.
Right.
And just for context for anyone listening, a CRM is customer relationship management software, the tools you use to track sales and clients. Instead of just typing that acronym into a search bar, people are opening up an AI and asking highly specific conversational questions.
Like a full sentence.
Yeah, like what is the best CRM for a small business? Or how do I set up marketing automation for a boutique bakery?
And what's fascinating there is the psychological shift behind those queries. The traditional SEO mindset asks, what rank are we on the web page? But the AEO mindset asks a much deeper question. Are we actively in the AI's conversation?
It moves the goalpost completely.
It really does, from static placement to dynamic inclusion.
I hear that, but I have to push back a little bit here. If a user isn't physically clicking a blue link on a search page, how do we even know we're visible? With traditional SEO, I can just log into a dashboard, see I got 1,000 clicks from Google today, and call it a win.
Sure.
Isn't visibility in an AI chat completely invisible to traditional metrics? How do you measure a private conversation happening in someone's ChatGPT window?
That is a critical point, and it's exactly why the entire industry is feeling severe growing pains right now. You just can't measure AI conversations the old way.
Because there's no click.
Right. Trying to measure AI visibility with a click tracker is like trying to review a movie by counting how many people bought popcorn in the lobby.
Oh, that's good.
You're measuring a peripheral action, but you are completely missing the actual conversation inside the theater. Because of this, the metrics and the platforms we use to measure success have to completely change.
So we're essentially throwing out the old dashboard. Because visibility in an AI is fundamentally different. What does the new measurement actually look like?
It changes on four main fronts. The first difference is what you measure. In SEO, you're just tracking a keyword to URL relationship. But in AEO, you have to track if your brand appears, and crucially, the specific context and sentiment of that appearance.
Wait, sentiment. So you mean whether the AI actually likes you or not?
Precisely. It's not enough to just be mentioned. Let's say a user asks an AI for software recommendations, and AI replies, well, brand X is an option, but it's wildly overpriced and has terrible customer support.
Yikes.
Yeah, that is a disastrous citation. If you were only tracking whether your name appeared, you'd think you were winning. But the sentiment is actively driving customers away.
Wow, okay. That makes it vastly more complicated than just checking a box for being on page one. And I imagine the second difference is where we measure this, right? We aren't just looking at Google anymore.
No, the landscape is fragmented. You have to shift to a multi-platform AI approach. You absolutely have to monitor your presence across ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Gemini simultaneously.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting to me, looking at the research. The third difference is the stability of the outputs. With SEO, ranks change based on big algorithm updates, but they're mostly stable week to week.
Right.
But with AI, a user can type the exact same prompt twice in a row and get two completely different answers.
Yes.
Why on earth does that happen?
The volatility is incredibly high because these aren't static databases. They rely heavily on continuous model updates and a technique called RAG.
RAG, R-A-G, which stands for Retrieval Augmented Generation.
Right.
What does that actually mean in plain English for someone just trying to get their business recommended?
Let's break it down. When you ask an AI a question, it doesn't just rely on its old training data. Through RAG, the AI reaches out to live. External databases, basically the current internet, pulls the freshest information it can find at that exact millisecond, and then generates an answer.
So it's synthesizing live data on the fly.
Exactly. So if you ask for the best mortgage rates at 9 a.m., it pulls a certain article. But if the Federal Reserve announces a rate cut at 9:05, the internet updates.
Ah, I see.
If you ask the exact same prompt at 9:06, the AI retrieves that brand new data, and the answer is entirely different.
It's like the operator is constantly reading a live news ticker while talking to you on the phone. Their advice changes depending on what headline just scrolled past.
That's a great way to think about it. And that real-time synthesis brings us to the fourth major difference between SEO and AEO, attribution complexity.
Ah, yes. Because in the SEO world, we love nice, clean, trackable referral URLs. But with AI citations,
Answer engines don't give you clean referral links. AI citations might drive massive traffic without any trackable clicks at all.
wait, how does that work?
Well, the AI gives the user the perfect answer right in the chat. The user says, great, I'll go buy that, opens a new tab, texts your website in directly, and makes a purchase.
And to my analytics software, that just looks like direct traffic. I get the lead, but I have absolutely no idea that ChatGPT was the one who sold them on it.
Exactly. It makes lead and pipeline attribution highly complex.
Which brings up a huge practical problem. Knowing how volatile the AI is and how complex the attribution is, manual tracking feels completely impossible. You can't just have someone sitting at a desk typing queries into ChatGPT all day hoping to see your brand pop up.
No, it doesn't scale at all, which is why the solution has to be mechanical. It's called automated prompt level monitoring.
Let's break down what that actually looks like practically. If I'm running a company, how am I tracking this?
You start by building a library of prompts. Not just 5 generic keywords, but 50 to 200 real-world conversational prompts that your target audience actually uses, and you feed them into the AI engines every single week.
Okay, so I'm constantly testing the AI's current mood. What exactly am I looking for in the results?
You track 3 metrics. First, who gets cited? Is it you or competitor? Second, what content gets surfaced? Did it pull your official blog post or a harsh Reddit review?
Oh, an AI summarizing a negative Reddit thread to a buyer would be brutal.
Very. And third, you look at your brand's citation share versus competitors.
So citation share is basically the new share of voice for the AI era.
That's a perfect synthesis, yes. But tracking all of that across multiple platforms every week requires specific tools. The source material highlights HubSpot AEO as the solution here.
Right, which is available in their Marketing Hub Pro and Enterprise tiers.
Yes, it automates this exact cross-platform testing to spit out a single, unified AI visibility score. It takes the manual nightmare completely out of the equation.
Okay, so now we know how to track this AI visibility score. But the listener needs to know what to actually do with that data to make money. How does being the AI's favorite answer impact the bottom line?
This is where the numbers get really exciting.
Yeah, I wanted to bring this up. The R. Greenfish article dropped a jaw-dropping stat. Using AEO data strategically has been proven by HubSpot data to increase leads by up to 1,850%.
It is a staggering number.
Over 1,800%. How does optimizing for an AI bot translate to that much of an explosion in actual human leads?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it comes down to intent. When someone asks an AI a highly specific, complex question, they aren't just browsing, they have their credit card out. Achieving that level of recommendation transforms your entire growth stack.
Let's dig into that.
Yeah.
How does AEO transform the growth stack? The research lists 3 strategic impacts.
The first impact is content updates. If your monitoring shows a competitor is being cited in your space, HubSpot AEO flags the exact pages you need to fix.
So it literally points out the blind spots the AI has about your brand.
Exactly. You engineer content specifically to improve your AI retrieval.
That makes total sense. What's the second impact?
Sourcing and link strategy. Seeing where AI pulls its info changes where you invest your money. AI models absolutely love original data.
Right. I've noticed it loves pulling hard statistics.
Yes, it craves primary sources. So instead of buying generic backlinks, you invest smartly in high-quality data partnerships or original research. If you publish the raw data, the AI cites you as the foundational truth.
Wow. Okay. And the third strategic impact is campaign strategy. So what does this mean for the marketing funnel? The source mentions bottom of funnel versus awareness. How does knowing our AI position change our campaign spend?
Think about it like this. What if the AI only cites you when users are ready to buy, asking about pricing, but completely ignores you during their initial research phase?
So it knows me as a vendor, but not as an industry expert.
Exactly. If you're invisible during the research phase, you must pivot your budget. You shift spend into thought leadership and broader content distribution. AEO tells you exactly where your funnel is leaking in the AI's mind.
So you build awareness specifically to educate the machine.
You have to.
So looking at all of this, I think the overarching lesson here is that AEO doesn't kill traditional SEO. We aren't saying to burn down your keyword strategy. Rather, it acts as an essential supplement to capture shifting consumer behavior.
It is a mandatory layer of modern marketing, yes.
And there is a practical tip from the source that listeners can implement right away, adding FAQ schema markup to your website's backend right now.
Absolutely.
It basically adds hidden labels to your code that helps AI scraping engines easily digest your data. It's like a neon sign that only the AI can read. And if you really want to elevate your strategy, the Argon Greenfish team offers consultations to help you navigate this exact shift.
Before we wrap up, I want to leave the listener with a final thought to mull over, because we talk about AI driving traffic without trackable clicks.
Right, the invisible attribution.
If answer engines become the primary way people find information,
Yeah.
are we approaching a future where your actual website becomes invisible to the public?
Wait, what do you mean?
Think about it. What happens when your website is no longer a storefront designed for human eyes, but simply a silent database built exclusively for AI to read?
Oh, wow. So people never visit the site, they just read the AI's summary of it.
Exactly. The human never needs to click the link. Your beautiful website just becomes a feeding trough for machines.
That is a haunting thought to end on. Are we optimizing for a future where the only visitor that matters is the AI? Well, that definitely gives us all something to explore on our own.
It's the reality we're moving toward.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. The rules of visibility are changing incredibly fast. The phone book is gone, and the operator is getting smarter. You need to make sure the operator knows your name. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.